Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by West Brom Young Player of the Year, Dara O'Shea. Dara, just back from holidays with a lovely tan. How are you keeping?
I'm very good, yeah. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's great to have you on. I know it's been a long time coming, but we have you on now at last. And we've been doing a lot of podcasts. I know more so during the kind of lockdown, the coronavirus, and we've been getting players on talking about their careers and stuff like that. I was a while waiting to get you on, but we finally have you here. So I suppose I'll take you back. Obviously, you've had a very impressive season with West Brom, so I'll take you back right to when you first started. And what's your earliest memory within football for yourself?
I suppose my earliest memory would be my dad brought me up to football. I think when I was about four or whatever. I started off at Bushy Park Rangers, um, and started off there. And I remember him taking me up to like the little academy bit up there, and just that's probably my earliest memory is of playing football itself, and obviously then kicking about the ball in the garden with my dad and my uncles, and trying to grab whoever I could to try to play football with. Because from a young age, like I was just sport mad and just on the go. Like my mum always used to say, like if anything was in my way, it was just I just knock it down or whatever. I was just totally just wanted to get out and be active.
You had a bit of GAA in you as well, didn't you? I remember reading that you played GAA too.
Yeah, I played GAA, played for St Jude's, in the local parish there, and yeah, I loved Gaelic and hurling. It was like unreal. I don't think well, to be fair, it put me in good stead when I came over to England, having that bit of not a bit of physicalness into my game, and yeah, I love playing. Obviously, play with your mates because it's in the parish and that, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
But just in regards, sticking with soccer for a sec, but did you have a particular idol growing up watching football? Did you ever think there was someone there that you wanted to be maybe a centre half or whatever? It could have been a striker.
Yeah, when I was younger, like really young, it was always Roy Keane. I was mad about Roy Keane from a young age. I kind of liked United when I was younger, and yeah, it was always Roy Keane. And then kind of as I got a bit older and started moving back into centre back, I used to like idolise John Terry a lot. Used to love watching him play, love everything he did, and he was kind of my idol then growing up past Roy Keane.
Yeah, not too bad idols to have at all, are they? I mean, they're absolute leaders and warriors for their clubs, and obviously Roy being Irish, that's obviously where you have the what's the word I'm looking for? The the looking up. I suppose you look up to him in that way. Obviously, with him being Irish, and then obviously what he's achieved in the game. But just kind of while we're on the subject of it, kind of you went from Bushy Park, then kind of got growing up. Then who were the other clubs that you kind of went through before you got to England?
Yeah, so I was just playing for my local team, Rangers at the time, and then it came to about when I think we moved to 11 aside, and St Kevin's came and they said like they wanted to take me and get me to play for them, and at the time it was kind of a big deal because it was not moving across, but it was traveling across the city to play for a football team, which my mom wasn't too keen on. But obviously St Kevin's were the best schoolboy club at the time, and they were known for producing players and bringing players over to England and that. So yeah, I ended up signing with them at under 12s and the 13s, and then stayed with them until I went to West Brom.
Just kind of on St Kevin's boys, we had Warren O'Hara on a few weeks ago, and he was basically just saying how much the club had helped him develop and stuff like that. And he said he had played with you, and he actually spoke about you being an inspiration for him, kind of, because he went over a little bit later than you. But what is it about St Kevin's that makes them so good? Is producing so many good players, especially at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. I think the track record speaks for itself and the players that have gone across and obviously the players that are doing so well. But I think everything about the club is great. For a schoolboy club to have the facilities that they have, the coaches that they bring in as well, everything is done properly, and it starts from Alan Caffrey there. He treats it like an academy, and that's the way we were brought up. When I went to St Kevin's, it was always trying to, I suppose, make St. Kevin's into like an academy. So when we went over and when we played against teams over in England, we were well able to play against them. And I suppose they were getting us prepared for obviously the chance to go over and get a move to England. And yeah, everything was just first class about St. Kevin's. Like I couldn't speak more highly of the club and of the people around it. And even the players I played with back then, some of the players were unbelievable, and it's nice to see some players doing so well now.
Yeah, well, obviously, these days academies are so important, and you kind of hear of so many players that go over from Ireland without any academy experience. And I think probably Seamus Coleman's the probably best example of that, who actually didn't have academy facilities before he went over. But do you think you benefited from having the St. Kevin's Boys Academy?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. It got me prepared, and it kind of gave me an early insight into what life could be like if I moved across. Even the structures of our trainings, and even getting us into the gym, doing little bits with us. Everything just was really top class, and it imitated what an academy was like when I did eventually move over to play for West Brom.
Yeah, and I think as well, you look at Bows now in the League of Ireland who are doing so well. They've got so many players coming from there, up and coming. They're after getting a great result against Dundalk last week, and then they're challenging in the league. Which, if you had said a few years ago, people probably would have laughed at you before that link up with St Kevin's.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's great for the League of Ireland to have and both to have someone like Kevin's there who are kind of feeding their players through or helping them out, and it's just great for Irish football to have clubs like St Kevin's there who are doing great work and who have done great work in the past and are continuing to do so.
Yeah, well, talk to me about your move from St Kevin's then to England and kind of how it came about. Did you have many trials before you picked West Brom? Kind of how did it work out in your own view?
Yeah, so actually at St Kevin's we kind of had a link with West Brom back then, and we used to go over every January and play a game against them. So I suppose they kind of had a look at me from early on, but I was at a few other clubs on trial as well, and at the time West Brom just seemed like the perfect fit for me. Obviously Robbie McCourt and Zach Elbazadi were there as well, so I kind of knew them both, and it was nice to have other Irish connections there. And a lad on my team, Evan Pearce, was signing for West Brom as well. So it kind of made that bit easier. Obviously, having people there, at West Brom, and yeah, it just made the move easier.
Yeah, it's always nice to kind of have that settling in period when you have other people settling in with you at the time. It obviously makes that kind of bedding in period a bit easier for yourself, especially what age would you have been then? 16, 17?
Yeah, I was 16 when I moved over. So yeah, I moved into Diggs. I had a great Diggs family as well. They were unbelievable with me, and made it that bit easier again to settle in. Obviously, having the lads there, but having a Diggs that you want to come home to and you want to spend time in was great for me.
Yeah, no, you've kind of gone on loan a few times. You had a loan period at Hereford. How did that come about? Was that just to kind of get you out and kind of get a feel for men's football?
Yeah, that kind of came up quite suddenly. I think I kind of played the previous season to that, like a lot in the 23s, and I kind of got my taste for it. And I thought I kind of needed to go on loan, but nothing had really came up. And then one day, Darren Moore at the time was the loans manager there. He came up to me and said, like, I've got a great opportunity for you here to go out and get some experience. And to be fair, I just jumped at the opportunity. It didn't matter who it was. I just wanted to get out. I thought like I really need to get out now. I need to get some experience because as a defender, you need to go learn your trade somewhere quickly. And I suppose the sooner you do it, the more experience you get, the quicker you can step up the ladder.
I think as well though, you'd mentioned earlier about the GAA and how that would help your physicality as you were growing up. So I think that might have helped you as well going into the men's environment because we all know GAA, it's a very physical sport and you have to put yourself about like.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's given GA is added to lots of aspects of my game, and kind of not being afraid to put a tackle in, not being afraid to stand up and take it if you have to. So yeah, it was a great help for me. It kind of eased that period stepping into, I suppose, a senior team as such, because I I've been through this before and I knew it was happening.
When when the call between football and GAA came about, was that a tough call to make for yourself? Or was it always just soccer was the number one and then GAA?
Yeah, to be fair, it was actually when I was at St Kevin's again. They were kind of having like talks with me and saying like if you want to take this a bit more seriously, you're gonna have to kind of cut out the Gaelic and cut out the hurling. And at the time, I just didn't really want to hear about it. I kept going. My dad was kind of telling me like you probably need to stick to something now. But I still play Gaelic and hurling up to the day I left, I played a Gaelic match. I think like 2 weeks before I left to go to West Brom or whatever. So yeah.
I seem to think like a lot of the players, even in the senior team, they still have that GA connection. You look at John Egan all the time, and he's back home in Bishopstown there the other day with a Bishopstown jersey on him and everything like that, getting involved when he's back. Seamus Coleman's he's famous. He said a few times now that when he gets back after playing, he hopes to go back to play in Donegal again for Killybegs. So I think that it's nice to see the players still sticking to their roots as well, and still kind of having that thing about them. I'm sure maybe when you finish, which will be a long time now, please God, that you might come back and do a little bit of GAA as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the good thing about the GAA is it's a community sport. You play for your local team. You play with the people you've grown up from a young age, and it's great to go home and it's great to see them, and great to get out and kick a ball around or hit the slitter around. So yeah, it's something I would like to get back to if after my career in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's nice to hear. But on to kind of from the loan period then from Hereford, getting back then, did you know you were going to go back out on loan again? Because obviously still quite young at this stage anyway. And Exeter was your
Yeah,
next loan, wasn't it?
yeah. At the time, I'd obviously had a good season with Hereford. I'd done well. And yeah, I was just hungry for more again. I got that little taste for it, and I thought now is my time to kind of step up again. Because when I was at Hereford, the plan was to kind of keep moving up each league each year if I could, and the opportunity came around to go to Exeter. Again, just jumped at it, just wanted to get going. I knew that if I got an opportunity in the team, that I'd kind of take it, and it was quite tough at the start. I didn't really play much until the Checkatrade games came around, where I got my kind of opportunity. Impressed in them games, and then I think it was like October time when I kind of broke into the team, and then ended up playing till the end of the season. So again, it was very successful, but yeah, I just loved every minute of it.
Do you find that during those periods in those lower league teams that you did a lot of growing up within yourself? I mean, from a kind of as a man more so than anything else, because you hear so much of these players are playing for their livelihood so much so, and obviously you playing centre half is a very key position within those teams. Not like you're like on the wings or anything like that. You were literally keeping out goals, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You quickly realise that when you walk into the change room, that it's totally different to academy football or 23 football. That at the end of the day, there's something on the line here. And yeah, it's great to have them lads there to kind of bring you back down to reality, because a lot of players, I think, go into it thinking that it's a step down and that it's not going to be great. When reality is it's a step up, and you're learning properly what it's going to be like. And yeah, obviously as well, like when I went to Exeter, that was the first time I was living by myself as well. So I kind of had to mature and grow up and kind of learn to fend for myself properly. But yeah, experience of it all, yeah.
I think that's one of the unseen things within football, professional football, is people see all the highs and stuff like that, and they don't see like when you're kind of going a little bit under the radar. Like you're obviously only kind of coming up in your career now, and obviously with all this, people don't see all the background to it. When you're living by yourself, and I suppose only your close family and friends would kind of know kind of what's going on with yourself, but they don't see any of this. And it's only really when you start doing well, people are like, oh, I really want to be a footballer, but they don't see the kind of other side to it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard graft you put in. There's a lot of sacrifices you have to make too. But I suppose in the end, it's all made worth it when you win a game, or when something good comes happen. But yeah, you give up a lot of your time. But it's definitely worth it.
Well, just kind of because obviously you've done quite well up to now anyway, and from the extra loan then. We obviously know that you went away with Stephen Kenny with the under-21s. There was the Toulon tournament, and I say this to all the lads that I have on, is that he always brings it up that before that Toulon tournament, that I don't know, pretty much the whole team hadn't played first team football for their clubs before that, and then after that, everyone last season, well, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Most people
Mm.
got in with their first teams or got a chance with their first team. Do what is it about Stephen Kenny that he just seems to bring the best out of people, players? Like any player I've had on, they just speak so highly about him. So I'd like to hear what kind of your thoughts on him, and how that Toulon tournament helped your development.
Yeah, I suppose that was one of the first kind of times as a group we were together, and Stephen as a manager, he just brings confidence out in everyone. Like I think everyone goes out into the pitch with their head held high and their chest puffed out. Like he really brings that no fear element into international football for us. Like he said to us at the very start, like we can't be going out fearing any team. We got to go out thinking that we're going to beat this team. And I suppose that's something that hasn't been like in Irish football for a long time. I think we used to fear a lot of teams and used to give teams too much respect. So I think he's bringing that element in where he knows that if we go out and we play the football we do, because we've got great players in this country that we can go out and I suppose beat any team. But yeah, that Toulon tournament was amazing for all the players that were involved in it. I think because it was again during the off season, as much as it seemed like a thing that most players wouldn't look forward to, everyone loved it as soon as we got out there. I think the group just grew so much closer in them couple of weeks that we were together, and I think it put everyone in good stead for the season coming up. Like I never felt as fitter than that going into pre-season, and I truly believe without that Toulon tournament, I wouldn't have had the season I had because I came back to pre-season flying, and that's kind of when the gaffer had an eye on me and he saw me and kind of kept me involved. And I suppose I could have ended up going on loan if I wasn't in the form and the shape I was in then.
Yeah, but I'm even like I don't want I hate putting pressure on the under 21s because it is a great side. But you're kind of looking around the nucleus of that team, and it's a very exciting team to add to what we already have in the senior team. But your results within the under 21s have been really impressive. Like you look at the Sweden game, you know, going down and then coming back and getting the win, then beating them at home. Then you had the Italy game, which I believe we could have won. I know I was speaking to a couple of lads after the game; they feel like we could have won as well. Then you had what was the other game? I think who was the game when Troy scored and Aaron set it up 1-0 in Tala.
Uh, I forget now. Was it Armenia?
I mean, yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is, you're looking around the team, and as you mentioned there, it just looks like we don't fear anybody, and you know, to be going out and saying that we should have beaten the Italians and getting a draw and not being happy about it, I think that showed a real good mentality, and I think a lot of the fans love going and watching the under 21s because of the no fear factor that you play with.
Yeah, definitely. Especially that Italy game for us as a team, we felt we should have won that. Like we went into that changing room like disappointed in a way, like that we only come away with a point, I suppose. I suppose like lots of other Irish teams would have came back in and been celebrating, but I think that just shows the nature and the character that we had in the group, that we weren't happy with that point, that we knew we should have won that game, and that we believed ourselves that we were better than them.
Yeah, I just like I love going and watching the under 21s play because you just know that they're going to give you a game, and as you say, don't show teams too much respect. And that was with Stephen, with the manager. Now he's kind of got bumped up, and I'll come to that in a few minutes. But talk me through your season this year. Obviously, a fantastic year for yourself, your breakthrough year, winning Young Player of the Year. But talk me through the season from your first game, get the nod to come in and play properly, and kind of the confidence Slaven Bilic gave you then to go on for the rest of the season, because he showed a lot of faith in you, I believe.
Yeah, the season's been great. Like, couldn't have really hoped for a better season. But yeah, it was from the start again. Pre-season, I come in and I did well, and the gaffer kept me there, which was a main start. I was probably planning on going along at the start, and he kept me there to become a part of the squad. And I was involved all the way through the season. The start of the season, I was on the bench for a lot of the games and played the cup games. And then it wasn't really until um, the FA Cup when I kind of started playing. He put me in at right back. I think against Charlton was the first game, and the day before in training, he just came up and he said, like, I want you to play right back or whatever. I hadn't really played there before, didn't really know too much about the position, but I thought, yeah, look, I'll give it a go. I'm well able to, I suppose, adapt and play here, and played against them. Did all right, and then the next round was, I think, West Ham away. Same, played right back again, did well, and then after that, I kind of stayed in the team for most of the league games till the end.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, had you played right back, because you seem to slot in there seamlessly, like you wouldn't have even noticed. I know, judging by your frame, you do have a very centre back frame, and don't take that the wrong way. Whereas, fullbacks are generally kind of small in stature, and they're quite quick. I'm not saying you're slow, but you wouldn't naturally look at you as a right back. But as I said, you slotted in seamlessly and done really well.
Yeah, I think it kind of worked quite well. He kind of wanted me to back up play more, not to be attacking, go attack on every attack, I suppose. And it just worked out well. I kind of, as the games went on, I grew more into the position. I learned more about it, and it started to feel more natural to me as the season went on.
Yeah, I hear the West Brom fans were calling you the Dublin Cafu.
Yeah, I've seen a few shouts like that around Twitter. Yeah.
Well, just kind of because I know there was a bit of people weren't sure whether the season was going to be finished and stuff like that. Were you kind of worried in your head that maybe promotion wasn't going to happen? Because obviously it did happen, but we were worried at one point that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, there was a time when I suppose everything was up in the air and you thought that the season could get voided, but I think everyone we came back for from the off period, everyone was as fit as anything, and we knew ourselves that we just wanted to get back going again. We knew that we could get promoted, and yeah, the running was tough, but yeah, I think everyone was just really happy that the season carried on and we reached the goal of getting promoted.
Yeah, well, obviously it was very nervy stuff, especially that game, the last game of the season.
Yeah.
It was touch and go, like you know what I mean, because there was goals going in their game, and there was goal while you were playing as well. And then I think you went to goal down. Did you?
Well, yeah. Well, no, we scored and then they equalised, and then we
That was
scored
it, sorry.
again and they equalised. Yeah.
Yeah, because Callum Robinson scored basically the goal that did it then, didn't it? But at that point then, because I'd been talking to you beforehand, we were like, oh, we'll get you on if you get promoted. We'll just wait and see, and fingers crossed. And so when it actually happened, I was so delighted to see it actually happen for you. But what were the emotions like for yourself?
Yeah, it was mad. I think when the word came through that obviously we got promoted and everyone was running around the pitch celebrating, and yeah, it was crazy. It took a while for it to sink in. It was quite emotional as well. The fact that what we'd achieved as a group. But yeah, it was just amazing. Like one of the best feelings I've ever had, and just that moment was special. Like celebrating all the lads on the pitch, and then going out and seeing the fans outside the stadium, and yeah, just everything about it was really memorable.
Yeah, oh, a couple of minutes ago you spoke about kind of getting from league to league to league to league, and now you've done it. Hope all going well. You're playing next season, but you'll have done it then. You'll have played in all the leagues. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, apart from League One, so that was the plan really, was to
Oh,
just
sorry.
keep
Yeah.
moving up the leagues, and yeah, this season just gone, I thought I'd be on loan, so yeah, it was great to obviously have that step up again to the championship and test myself. So yeah, I'm really grateful.
Yeah, but it also seems now that Slaven Bilic seems to have a lot of faith in. He said he's come out numerous times in the press and said how he trusts you and stuff like that. So all going well that you'll be involved next season, and that kind of brings me to my next point. Are you kind of targeting, without putting too much pressure on yourself, are you kind of targeting maybe looking at those games in September as a chance of maybe getting in or being part of the squad even? Because I know the under-21 game has actually been called off now against Slovenia because there was COVID scares, so that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, well, to be fair, at the moment, like I'm still just focused on the 21s. Like we're in a great position. We're so close now to getting qualification. I think that's the main aim for me. Obviously, West Brom as well, trying to perform, but hopefully that's been like a dream of mine since I was young to get a call into the seniors. And I think I just got to keep performing, keep my head down, and not look too far ahead, and not look too much at that. And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'll just keep carrying on.
Yeah, well, I think you can take great inspiration from the likes of Leo Connor and Troy, Aaron, who have all kind of got the chance as well. But as you say, it is a great opportunity for the under-21s because I think it'll be the first time the under-21s have qualified for anything.
Yeah, definitely. That was when Stephen came in. That was his what he kept echoing and what he kept saying. Like no Irish team has ever qualified for the European Under-21 Championships, and yeah, that's something that we're so close to now. We've got a great bunch of lads, and obviously some of the lads have stepped up now to the seniors, and that gives us lads like great hope. And it's great seeing them do so well. But yeah, again, the 21s, it's our main aim, and we're so close now. We just got to keep going.
Yeah, well, you'll obviously be looking at some of the players as well from underage that could come up and maybe give us a hand, like Joe Hodge and players like that who've done well at the underage might need to step up now if other players are stepping up to the senior team, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've seen that the underage international system's working now, and lots of players that are coming up are playing well, and they're great players. So yeah, it's really exciting to see obviously the next group come up again, and hopefully a few of the players come into the 21s.
Yeah, well, I think it's an exciting time for yourself personally. I think it's an exciting time for Irish football ahead. With Stephen at the helm, Jim obviously in with the 21s. But Dara, listen, I won't keep any longer. I just want to say a huge thanks for coming on the show. It's been great, kind of getting insight to your career so far, and obviously hoping that you'll continue your development next season and go on to even better things as well. So thanks very much for coming on, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So if you're watching, guys, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to follow Dara there. His socials are above his head there. And we'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much for watching.